Because of the global health situation that swept the world in 2020, many people found themselves jobless, while a lot more of us were made to adapt to a work-from-home setup. This meant staying indoors since then, and although it is somewhat joyous since we got to work in the comforts of our own home and spend time with our family and pets, there's no mistaking that eventually all of us need to venture outside to return to office work. As such, our pets are highly likely to experience separation anxiety since they become accustomed to our presence in the house 24/7. Hey guys, how have you been doing? Welcome back to our channel once again, where today's topic is separation anxiety in both humans and pets. So if you're getting anxious about how you or your pet will cope once the situation normalizes, today's topic will be helpful to you. But before we discuss today's topic any further, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel with notifications turned on for more content like this. Pets and their significant roles in human lives. Pets are a great companion and a source of comfort, especially during these trying times. In fact, several studies link better mental health when one has a pet or two. In fact, animals have been instrumental in helping humans' mental stability. We all heard of dogs who work as support dogs, therapy dogs, or even emotional support. It's not just dogs, but other animals as well, including cats, hamsters, and other animals who fit the role. Defining anxiety and characteristics. Anxiety pertains to the feeling of unease or worry that can be mild or severe depending on the case. Each of us has experienced feeling anxious, whether it be waiting for news, a job interview, or taking an exam. Anxiety is made up of the small stresses and inconveniences of our life, and most times they come from important events, such as the death of a loved one, or the stress that's been building up due to work, or even paying rent and utility bills. There are several types of major anxiety disorders that are often experienced by people at any point in their lives, namely generalized anxiety, phobias, panic disorder, social anxiety disorder, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and post-traumatic stress disorder. And today's topic, separation anxiety. There are also telltale signs of anxiety that can be identified by anyone. Common anxiety signs and symptoms include feeling nervous, restless, or tense, having a sense of impending danger, panic, or doom, having increased heart rate, breathing rapidly, hyperventilation, sweating, trembling, feeling weak or tired, trouble concentrating or thinking about anything other than the present worry. That being said, let's briefly discuss the different types of anxiety there is. Generalized anxiety. From the name itself, generalized anxiety comes from worrying about a variety of topics that concerns everyday life, such as school or work performance, the family situation at home, current events, relationships, and finances, to name a few. Over-worrying about these topics can put a strain on an individual, which hinders one's capacity to perform well on any of their given tasks or activities. Generalized anxiety can also cause headaches, nausea, stomach aches, irritability, and muscle tension, to name a few. Phobias. Phobias are a form of intense fear of a specific animal, object, or situation. Some people suffer from fear of spiders, called arachnophobia, or fear of heights, called acrophobia. As such, a person who suffers from a phobia will go to extreme lengths to avoid their fears, or if left with no choice, they will face the fear but will be under extreme stress. For the fear to be considered a phobia, a person has to have this fear for at least 6 months. However, in the case of children, kids who fear the dark cannot consider it a phobia since there is a high chance they could overcome it. Panic disorder. Panic disorder, on the other hand, is more noticeable, since the individual suffers from panic attacks that interfere with their daily lives. Panic attacks can include any combination of sensations, including racing heart rate, rapid breathing, chest pain, dizziness, nausea, or abdominal pain, blurred vision, sweating, shaking, feelings of doom, or experiencing the moment as though you're outside of yourself. The person who suffers from panic attacks may feel like nothing is in their control and is quite dangerous, since it can be triggered at no given time or by something specific. Social anxiety disorder. Social anxiety disorder, on the other hand, is a fear of being judged by those around you, as well as experiencing discomfort when interacting with other people. People with social anxiety disorder have a hard time interacting with others for fear of saying the wrong things or being hated by others. Sometimes, people confuse social anxiety disorder with shyness, but the latter involves some minor discomfort interacting with people in certain situations, whereas social anxiety disorder actually gets in the way of the individual's functioning at home, school, work, or in their social circle. Obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. Obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCD, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, used to be grouped with anxiety disorders, but now they're classified under their own category because they have unique cases, unique brain structures involved, and unique treatments that make them separate from anxiety disorders. And finally, we have separation anxiety, which is the focus of today's video. Separation anxiety is experienced when someone experiences excessive worrying over the figure they are attached with, whether it be a person or an animal. Growing up, children experience separation anxiety wherein they have trouble being separated from their parents or guardians, which can also be experienced by said guardians over them. Separation anxiety generates thoughts about what will happen if their caregiver when they are separated, such as whether the caregiver dies or becomes ill. The individual also worries about what would happen to them if they're separated from their caregiver, such that they will get hurt or will something bad happen to them. Due to this heightened level of anxiety, people can come across as clingy toward their caregiver, having difficulty leaving their side to go to school, be home alone, or go to sleep by themselves. What's so important to remember is if you know someone who's suffering from anxiety, or you're suffering from anxiety, is that it could be dealt with properly. But unlike separation anxiety experienced by humans to fellow humans, it is much more difficult to treat separation anxiety of pets because they are of a different kind. Separation separation anxiety as exhibited by animals may come in the form of a destructive behavior, unnecessary whining, howling, urination, and defecation to name a few. Although it is stressful to both sides, it is important to understand the stress your pet is going through instead of being frustrated over it and punishing it for its unruly behavior. It can be difficult to get rid of, but it is possible and manageable given you have the patience to do so. Things to do about anxious pets. Like what was said earlier, separation anxiety is not about you, it's about your pet. So your pet's exhibiting destructive and unruly behavior is not them exacting revenge on you. Your pet shouldn't be punished just because they feel just as anxious as you when you separate. Like any other medical illness, it's best to treat separation anxiety like an ailment. On the other hand, you shouldn't shower your pets with affection and praise for their behavior, since it might encourage them for their unruly actions. The goal is to create a balanced relationship between you and your pet, so they can handle being alone and separated from you. But first, you need to get them checked by the vet to rule out any sickness or other ailments, such as urinary tract infections if your pet urinates in unlikely places. After getting checked, the next step you need to do is for them to get enough mental stimulation and exercise. If you have a dog, it's advised to take them for a walk or a run in the park before you leave the house, since this will help them calm down from their agitated state. It's harder to feel stressed when the endorphin levels are elevated. For cats, this could mean a change of environment by being outdoors in a safe, enclosed area, such as a catio. Start treating separation anxiety as behavioral change. Now, what you want to do is for your pets to make it seem that leaving is not a big deal, correct? To do that, it's best if you don't make a fuss whenever you leave the house, as well as when you return home as well. Concerning this, it's important to distinguish when your pets start to show signs of anxiety, then turning it into some kind of activity. For example, if your pet starts to act up when you pick up the keys, make sure to practice picking up your keys then putting them back a few times each day. Similarly, get dressed or put on your shoes earlier than usual, but stay home instead of leaving right away. Try starting your car's engine and then turning it off and walking back inside. As a follow-up on that activity, practice short absences. When you're at home, make it a point to spend some time in another room. In addition, leave the house long enough to run an errand or two. Then gradually increase the time that you're away so that being gone for a full day becomes part of the family routine. Finally, last but not least, provide an activity for your pet before you leave. You could leave them with a few toys or even high treats around the house so they have something to do while you're gone. Again, these steps won't bear fruit overnight, so your patience will be tested by these activities. In the end, being able to handle separation anxiety on your end as well as theirs will result in a better relationship between owner and pet, so you might as well hang on until you reach your desired results. And with that, we're concluding today's episode regarding separation anxiety between humans and pets. Hopefully this topic helps in bettering your relationship with your pets in regards to separation. Before you go, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more content like this. And if you subscribe, make sure you click that alarm bell icon so you'll be notified as soon as we upload a new video. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.